Hello everyone and welcome back to Bitcoin Tips. So today we're going to be talking about Solana and the project and kind of just giving you an overview of what Solana is and what it brings to the crypto marketplace. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you watch this video all the way to the end to get all of the information possible, and please consider hitting the like button. It does help out these videos quite a bit and it helps get new people into these communities. So let's dive right into it. So before we get any further, I want to just start off by saying this video is not going to be a price prediction for the coin. This is just meant to be educational for what this coin brings to the table, the technology behind it, and why it is partially why it's gotten so popular over the last few months. So of course, I wanted to start here on CoinMarketCap and just kind of take a look at some of the economics of the coin before we get further into the technology. The coin is up 2.25% today, which is not bad, sitting right around $161. If we look at the year to date, we can see that that has really climbed up. From this time last year, it was right around $1 or $2. So definitely would have been a great return on investment if we had bought it back here, or, realistically even, at $71 back in August. But hey, I guess that's part of cryptocurrency. So definitely doing well with the price. They've got a market cap here of around $49 billion, little over $49.5 billion, which is certainly really nice to see. Got a volume of about $2.8 billion and a circulating supply of 307.7 million coins. Max supply is right around 511 million coins, and we'll get a little bit further into some of the supply and, whether it's inflationary or deflationary and stuff like that here in a little bit. But that's just basics of its economics, kind of where it's at, what it's doing in the actual financial side of it versus the technology side. So let's dive right into, what technology is behind this and kind of why the coin has been going up. So I'm just going to be mainly on Solana's main website, which is solana.com, and kind of just using that as the guide through this video. So first off, you can see down here at the bottom, we have a total transaction counter that is going up like crazy. Now, this is one of the first things that a lot of people will talk about during the initial looking into Solana, is the fact that they claim that they're able to process around 710,000 transactions per second, where the credit card company Visa, which is a worldwide credit card company, currently processes around 24,000 a second. So both 24,000 is a ton of transactions per second, but nowhere near 710,000. Now, they have not been able to test this out just because there hasn't been a need for that many transactions per second, but I believe that with what I know about the technology, that claim is most likely able to be backed up. Now, it looks like our counter stopped there, but the block time is around 400 milliseconds, so that means it's a really, really fast block time compared to other coins where, like, Ethereum is a 10-second block time, and Bitcoin all the way up there with a 10-minute block time. So that's an extremely fast crypto. I think this is a big push towards this is, if crypto is going to become the next currency of the world, waiting 10 minutes for something to even get one confirmation, that's just not something we can do. So coins like this, I think, have a lot better chance of being mainstream use. So another thing to note about the transactions, the average cost per transaction is about 0.00025 cents, so around 1/100th of a penny or 2/100ths of a penny, which is super, super cheap. Now, the Solana coin is kind of a it's not a POW, it's not a POS, it's similar to POS, but they're actually using proof of history, and this is where it's really different from a lot of cryptocurrencies. Basically, it's POS, but they add a history of time into the mix, which allows the computers and the nodes that are confirming the transactions to be much more efficient, allowing us to get to that 400 millisecond time. Basically, what that means is when you go to send a transaction on the Solana network, your computer sends it out and says, I sent this at, I'll just say a date, January 1st, 2022 at 9 a.m. And that is put onto the block with a cryptographic stamp to confirm it, and it goes out to the network. And basically what the computers do is they just take everything in and they organize it after the fact. So they look and see, okay, well, you sent yours at 9 a.m. on January 1st. Well, this guy sent his at 8:45. So his gets confirmed first, even if yours was received first. So it kind of keeps that blockchain in order, so the computers aren't having to talk to each other, wasting a bunch of time like they do with POW and POS coins. They're always talking across the network saying, I got transaction A, did it come in before transaction B, even though transaction B was sent first? So it kind of gets a little bit confusing, but that's just a very high-level overview of what the history, the proof of history is. And it really does speed up the transaction times on the network, which I think is really, really good. So definitely something I think that we'll see in more cryptos in the future. And I think because of the success that POH, I guess, proof of history, has had with Solana, we'll see that in new cryptocurrencies in the future. So I think it's a really good step in the right direction. So basically, if you want to become a validator on the Solana network, there are very little to no requirements to become a validator. So you can see they kind of talk about global adoption and all of that. Whereas if you're looking at like POW, where you have to purchase expensive computer hardware, or even POS, where you might have to purchase hundreds or thousands of dollars worth of the coin to basically participate in being a masternode or a staker on the network, Solana doesn't have many restrictions to become a validator. So that's different than a lot of the POS coins. And if you're not sure, what POS is and how that works, go check out some of the other videos on this channel. I do have a few other POS coin reviews kind of talking about it. So to kind of give you a little bit more of an example of that is when ETH 2.0 comes out, we're going to, if you want to stake Ethereum, when it becomes POS, you will have to have about 32 Ethereum, which around today's price is about $100,000 worth of Ethereum. Nobody's gonna, well, I mean, there will be people that do that, but, I won't be staking Ethereum. That's way too much money. I don't have anywhere near 32 Ethereum. It's unfortunate that unless you're very rich in crypto or you have a lot of money that, you are okay with, possibly losing, staking on Ethereum is just not going to be for everybody. So with Solana, you just have to hold a very small amount and pay a daily fee to stake on the network. So that's a very different, that's a different way of looking at it compared to like how the Ethereum developers are sending 2.0 out to the network. So obviously, decentralized, here we see the become a validator. So if we click on the get started here, you can see there's, more about the staking pools and stuff like that. So I won't go too far into this. If you guys do want a dedicated video on staking and becoming a validator on the Solana network, let me know and I can get that, working as well. So I'll pull up the network performance here just so we have something to look at as well. But another thing that I do want to talk about here in Solana is this is really the first large-scale blockchain that has a C-level kind of running process on the blockchain. And that's basically where the validators run smart contracts in a parallel fashion versus a serial fashion. And basically, what that means is the validators can do more than one thing at a time. These are computers, they're getting more and more powerful every day, they can do more than one thing at a time. So now that this technology is brought into the blockchain, it becomes a lot more efficient and a lot faster for the blockchain because each validator or each computer, computers are basically the same as validators, can do multiple things at the same time. And Solana really talks about how their network is not limited by software, but rather hardware, where when NVIDIA doubles the SMDI or SIMD lanes in their technology, their network will just double in computational capacity. So that's something that's really cool. It's just a scalable network that as technology advances, so will this. Basically, Ethereum smart contracts will run on virtual machines, where the Solana smart contracts run in the Rust language, which is a very low-level programming language. So that means that they require less power to run, but they're a little bit harder to program. And I think this is actually a better thing, because whereas with the Ethereum smart contracts and all that, you can basically just go and copy and paste, edit a few things, and you technically, quote unquote, have your own project. Even if someone else did all of the work, you just changed the logo and the names and maybe some economics of it. In Solana, the developers can't just copy and paste. They have to start from scratch and build their projects up. And I think this is a good thing because it requires so much work up front. And that's going to prevent a lot of these pop-up scam, get rich quick projects that are just trying to, get a bunch of money based off something else's popularity. So that's just my opinion. There are very big drawbacks to this as well, because it is a lot more, it's harder to start, and it does take more skill and time to get started, which is definitely a drawback, but it's still something to think about. So I think it's a good thing, but other people will probably disagree. So whether or not you should get into this project and purchase these coins, start staking, start validating, that is completely up to you. Like I said, this video was meant to be just kind of a overview of the technology and kind of what's going on behind the scenes in Solana, because it is very different from a lot of the cryptocurrencies out there. Obviously, this coin is very, very popular. It's number 5 on the coin market cap, so I think it's a great investment for the long term. But again, it's still up to you. Just because, I think it's good doesn't mean that other people will, and it could just be one of those coins that, because it's new, it went up so much, and it'll slowly start falling off. It'll really depend on how they continue to develop the project. As always, do your own research on the project past this video. This was just a very high-level overview of the technology going on behind it. And I do hope you enjoyed. If you guys made it this far in the video, please leave a like and leave a comment down below letting me know you made it this far. And I will definitely be responding to those comments. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And if you did, consider subscribing to the channel. We post a video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday talking about all things cryptocurrency. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.